Hey guys, this is Monami Frost and my husband Henri.
Hey.
And today we are finally together here in front of a camera. It's been a while since we filmed the video together.
I think it's been before even Neo was born.
Yeah.
I think that was last time
Probably.
when two of us sat down and had time to film a video.
Obviously we filmed like vlogs and stuff, but yeah. So we thought we made a list of like videos we want to film together and we'll try to work through it. As we are in a lockdown, we are gonna try and film as much as we can. And today, as you can tell by the title of the video, we're gonna talk about Henri's first tattoo and just like all the experience about getting a tattoo, I think. So he has mentioned to me like maybe a couple of times, maybe once or twice even only, about the whole time when he got it done. But I don't think I remember, and I don't think he got into like the whole detail about it. So yeah, thought it would be fun to talk about it.
Yeah. This will be first time for you to hear as well full story, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
We talk about a million things, but there's never enough time to talk about everything.
Let's start, like I'll just ask questions.
Sure,
and
yeah.
So, how old were you when you got your first tattoo?
All right, I think I was about 14 years old. Maybe I was like 14 and almost turning 15, but I'm pretty sure it was 14.
So how did it even happen? Like, how did you decide that you wanted to get a tattoo?
I think we were all hanging out like alternative people together, kind of. We were like small gang of people, not really gang, small. That's what you say, right? A small gang of people. We were hanging out together and we were listening alternative music and skateboarding as well. Obviously, because we were into alternative music and we were into skateboarding, we were also into art and into some band t-shirts and into some tattoos and all that stuff. But of course, none of us had any tattoos. The first I saw tattoos, it was because of the musicians and bands and stuff. I don't think that's why I got my first tattoo. It wasn't like because musicians and I wanted to, we all were hanging out together and all just crazy kids doing like some crazy things, I guess, after school, you know, like skateboarding and running around abandoned buildings and stuff like that. I don't know, when you're a kid, you're just doing crazy things, I guess, especially if you live in Latvia. I don't think I had like a really big plan to get it tattooed that day when it happened, and I don't think I had like a sketches or something, but I was really thinking much about my first tattoo or anything, so it just kind of happened.
When did it happen? Like basically who tattooed you?
All right.
Who had like the tattoo equipment and all of that, and how did you get a hold of it in those times? I think on like a bunch of kids, like you're saying.
That was around like 19-20 years ago, you know, and it was definitely different times than it is right now when you can just order kit online and just get it, you know, delivered to your door and just start tattooing your friends. Of course, don't do that ever, you know, I don't suggest that to anyone. But I think now if you are 14-year-old, you're already so exposed to the tattoo industry, you already know almost like everything about it, because from the videos, from the YouTube, from the internet, from the Instagram and Facebook, because of all that you already know much about it. But back then we didn't even know anything about it. I personally, I think I didn't even know that tattoo machines exist or stuff like that. I never even thought about it, you know, like kind of, I don't know, it was just so alien to all of us, well, especially to me. Like I don't know what I was thinking. I definitely knew it hurts to get it done before I got my done. I don't know, somehow I heard that it hurts to get it done, and maybe I thought that it will be done with needle, of course, because it needs to go inside your skin and stuff. But
yeah, you've probably heard from like prison and stuff that you like poke or something.
Could be, yeah.
That's what I thought like at first. I didn't even know, as well. Yeah. Like, there's like machines. I thought like you just like poked.
Just didn't know anything. Like it's crazy to even imagine now, and crazy to remember that time. And of course, I can't remember all the details, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have any clue about what's going on at all. You know, I was just a kid, 14-year-old, and so because we were hanging out with alternative people and kind of a small gang of alternative people, sometimes we kind of meet people from other cities, maybe, you know, other maybe gang of people from other cities that we can hang out a little bit with them and stuff, and, you know, just go to some parties and drink some beers or something and smoke some cigarettes and stuff. So and somehow we met one girl who had a tattoo machine, and she was already covered with tattoos. I think she was maybe around 16, 17 back then, possibly 18, I'm really not sure, but she was older than me and so some other guys. We started hanging out with her, and because she was cool, you know, she had good tattoos, so we were like, yeah, she's really cool, and she also had a tattoo machine. Obviously, we were all like, let's get tattoos as well. We kind of tried to talk her into getting tattoos. I think at first, I'm pretty sure she didn't really want to tattoo us. Not all of us. I think she didn't mind tattoo a couple of us, but of course not 14-year-old kids. From what I can remember, I think she didn't really want to tattoo us first.
Yeah.
So she started tattooing some of those older dudes first.
Was it like during a long period of time, like she was getting like them tattooed, or like were you like in a week, like, oh, everybody's getting tattoos now today?
I think it was about in a week. Yeah, it was really fast. It was like, yeah, we're hanging out with that cool chick. She's tattooing everyone, and we were all like just trying to hang out. We were all hanging out together anyway. So you know, no matter what happens, for example, if one of us gets new skateboard or new BMX bike, then everyone kind of hangs around, and we're like checking how that guy like tries to do some tricks and stuff. So kind of same happened with that. That girl was starting to hang out with us, and we were all kind of just hanging out together.
Yeah.
And so she started tattooing some of my friends, and of course I was like excited as well. I wanted to get tattooed. And some of them had quite big tattoos, you know. I remember one of my friends, he almost got full sleeve getting tattooed by her, you know, and that all happened in like 2-3 weeks. And I was like thinking, wait, that dude is crazy. He was about 16 then, I think. And I was sure that I don't want a lot of tattoos back then, because I was kind of still like new to it, and I didn't really want to cover myself, you know. When I was 14, I didn't really want to cover myself in a lot of random tattoos. I knew for sure I didn't want anything big. I wanted something small. At that point, I didn't know what I want to get. I kind of knew I'm gonna eventually get tattoos because everyone's getting tattoos, so I was kind of thinking what to get.
So what was it that you got? Like that?
All right. So the one,
what was your first tattoo?
Yeah, that was the only one I got back then. When I was So my tattoo was independent skateboarding logo, kind of independent brand, and that was just on my top of my shoulder right there. It's covered now underneath, but we can still kind of maybe
still see it.
Check it out. Yeah. So that was the only tattoo I got back then. Small independent sign on top of my shoulder. I think I was also got it there so I can cover it with my t-shirt, just in case of my parents doesn't see it straight away. And as I can remember, also she didn't really have the real tattoo ink, so we were using ink from pen, from the black pen ink. Actually, we were like taking pens apart and like blowing that ink out. So in some tubes or something. As I can remember, it could be that she had some ink left, but then because of all of us getting tattooed, she ran out eventually, and then she started doing with that one. That could be also another one, but I don't remember the details so long. But I really remember that some of us got tattooed by just real pen ink. It could be me as well, I'm not really sure. And definitely don't try that at home.
Oh God.
Like, never.
Yeah, so how did it all happen, like that day, like when you got it done? Like,
honestly, I can't remember the details, where exactly I was sitting and stuff.
Talking. Like
we were hanging out in basement as well, underneath, like the
underground.
We were hanging out in the basement, so it was like 9-story old kind of Soviet buildings. If you've seen the TV show Chernobyl, like basically those huge buildings, we were all living in town like that, in block buildings, in huge block buildings, 9-story buildings. Each of those buildings also had a basement underneath, and all the people who were living, each apartment had their own kind of locker inside underneath there, so you can like a storage unit. It's a tiny one anyway. Each of those had a tiny one. I remember we had it as well, but because it was more like abandoned place, not a lot of people were actually storing things there. And also because most of those basements were not locked or anything, so they were just kind of open, and a lot of kids were kind of going underneath there and hanging out. And in one of those basements, we kind of built it. Well, I didn't build it myself, but one of the other kids as well, older one, they kind of built like almost like hangout place, you know, like a crib, you know. It had like some couches there, we had some music there and stuff.
Picturing it, like,
yeah,
picturing it would be so cool.
And also somehow he managed to get some electricity down there. I really don't know how it was, but we also had electricity there. So I know that some of us were getting tattooed there, including myself. I just don't remember exactly how it happened. But I remember it was we were all like around there, and I remember people were getting tattooed there in the basement. And then I remember in one house party she tattooed maybe like 4 people, so maybe I got tattooed in that house party. I really don't remember, unfortunately, how it happened, but because it was all in like 1-2 week time, so it was all kind of blurred together for me right now, and I don't have any photos of that time. I don't think anyone has any photos of that time, because back then no one had like phones or cameras or anything really. Well, maybe some adults obviously had cameras, but not us.
So why didn't you get like more tattoos tattooed?
I think I was, like I mentioned before, I was scared to get more tattoos because I didn't really want to cover myself. I didn't want to get into trouble from the parents and stuff. But also I think another thing why I didn't get more tattoos back then, I think she just didn't wanted to tattoo a lot of us, you know. She kind of like,
you didn't want to pressure her, maybe.
well, yeah, because obviously the older kids were getting like full sleeves tattooed. I didn't want to be like, oh, can I get another tiny one somewhere, you know. I think we also paid some money to her for, of course, for the tattoo.
Pack of cigarettes.
I think something, yeah, not a lot, like a couple of bucks there or something. So probably I didn't have money to pay for another tattoo, and also I don't think she had a lot of more time to tattoo us. Because I think eventually we kind of like all broke up. We were not hanging with her at all anymore. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why and stuff. Maybe she just got tired of us asking for more tattoos from her. So that's what happened.
Right. So what did your parents think? Because you just said that you were scared of your parents. Of course, when I just got a tattoo, I didn't show anyone straight away. But I think maybe about a month later, I told my mom that I had a tattoo. I think I showed her as well, like, hey mom, here, I got the tattoo. But I think she never paid attention. I don't think she kind of really thought it's a real. So she kind of laughed at it and just let it go. But also because I was drawing on myself a lot, you know. Yeah. So I was drawing like fake tattoos all the time anyway. Not maybe when I was 14, but when I was younger, maybe when I was like 8, 9 and 10 and stuff, I was drawing a lot of tattoos anyway, because I was into alternative music quite early on, and I saw all the tattoos, so I was kind of drawing on me a lot anyway, and I also had some piercings already on me. Yeah. So by the time I showed that first tattoo to my mom, I think she kind of thought I just kind of trying to get her attention or something. So I think after a few more years later, when she actually realized it's a real tattoo, then she couldn't really tell much because it was already there for a couple of years. So yeah, that's about it. Definitely, if you're thinking to get your first tattoo, don't make mistakes like that, because it could have, and it ended up all right for me. You know, I didn't have like blood poisoning or infections or something like that, but it can end up way worse than that if you do it unprofessionally in basements and stuff. Like, never do it. Wait till you're 18 and get it done properly in the studio. And also, even if you get done it in studio, still check the artists, check the portfolios, check what they do. A lot of those times still in the studios on the high street, in the professional studios, I'd say it's still quite bad artists, and you could get quite bad tattoos. Definitely make sure to check out portfolios and check out everything before you're getting first tattoo. Okay, that was fun hearing the full story. I like kept picturing how it all happened and stuff. I wish I was there with you. But anyway, so this is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more videos to come from us. And we love you all. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. See ya.